Why does your kitty suddenly give you the cold shoulder like you've committed some unforgivable crime? One minute they're purring in your lap, the next they're flicking their tail and walking away like you don't exist. But here's the thing, it's not random. Cats are way more sensitive than we realize, and some of the things we do every day without even thinking might actually be breaking their hearts. From the way you pet them to the way you talk to them, even the tiniest mistake could be sending the wrong message. And the worst part? They always remember, so before you accidentally hurt your feline's feelings, let's go through 25 everyday things that might be upsetting your cat, starting with one that even the most loving cat owners get wrong. Number 25. Ignoring their slow blinks. Have you ever caught your cat staring at you, then slowly closing and reopening their eyes, almost like they're in a trance? That's not just a sleepy blink, it's a secret message. When a cat slow blinks at you, they're saying, "I trust you, I feel safe with you." It's the feline version of a warm hug. But if you just stare blankly, or worse, look away, your cat might take it as rejection. Imagine smiling at someone and getting nothing in return. Ouch! This simple exchange is how cats strengthen their bond with you, and it works both ways. If you want to make your furry friend's day, try giving them a slow blink back. You might notice their whiskers relax, their body soften, maybe even a tiny purr. It's a love language that most owners completely overlook. And speaking of things cat owners miss, let's talk about another everyday habit that's secretly breaking your cat's heart. Number 24. Moving their favorite spot. Why does your cat keep returning to a spot that no longer exists? You move their bed, rearrange the furniture, or swap their favorite window perch, and suddenly they're pacing, meowing, even sniffing the floor like something's missing. That's because to a cat, their world isn't just what they see, it's where they feel safe. Their favorite resting spot isn't just about comfort, it's a territory they've claimed, a space filled with their scent and security. Changing it without warning? That's like someone moving your bed to a different room while you're at work. It's confusing, frustrating, and can even make them anxious. And if you think that's dramatic, just wait until you see how they react when you mess with something even more personal. Because for a cat, this isn't just annoying, it's a full-blown betrayal. And it's number 23, changing their food. Would you suddenly switch your entire diet overnight without warning? Imagine waking up one morning expecting your usual breakfast, only to find something completely different on your plate. Confusing, right? That's exactly how your cat feels when you change their food too quickly. But it's not just about taste, it's about trust. Cats are creatures of habit, and their stomachs are just as sensitive as their emotions. A sudden switch can lead to digestive issues, stress, and even food rejection. Their body needs time to adjust, and their mind needs reassurance that their routine isn't crumbling. If you ever need to transition their meals, do it gradually, mixing the new with the old so their system doesn't go into shock. Because to them, an unexpected food change isn't just a surprise, but a betrayal. And if you think that's upsetting, wait until you see what happens when you disturb their precious nap for something they never asked for. Number 22. Waking them up for cuddles. Would you enjoy being jolted awake just because someone felt like hugging you? Probably not. Well, for your feline friend, it's even worse. Cats follow a unique sleep cycle. Lighter doses mixed with deep restorative sleep. If they're in the middle of that deep phase and suddenly scooped up for cuddles, it's not just annoying, it's stressful. Their bodies jolt into high alert, disrupting the rest they desperately need. Unlike humans who can shake off a bad nap, cats rely on these sleep patterns to regulate their mood, energy, and even their immune system. Constant interruptions? That can lead to irritability, anxiety, or even avoidance behaviors. So if your furball starts slinking away when you reach for them, they might just be remembering all those times you rudely woke them up. But if you think that breaks their heart, just wait, because nothing stings more than this. Number 21. Ignoring them when they ask for attention. Why does your cat suddenly bump their head into you or throw themselves onto the floor like a furry little drama queen? It's not just random, it's their way of saying, "Hey, I need you." Unlike humans who can just text or call when they want attention, felines have their own secret language of affection. That soft headbutt? It's packed with scent markers, claiming you as theirs. The adorable chirp, that's a sound cats reserve for those they trust the most. And that exaggerated flop, pure unfiltered vulnerability. When you ignore these signals, your cat doesn't just feel brushed off, they feel rejected. And here's the thing, keep doing it and they might just stop trying altogether. But before you start showering them with pets to make up for it, be careful, because not all pets feel good to a cat. In fact, some can be downright unbearable. Number 20, petting them the wrong way. Why does your cat suddenly grab your hand or dart away when you pet them? It's not because they're being moody, it's because you're doing it wrong. Unlike dogs, who often love any kind of touch, cats are very particular about how they like to be petted. Heavy-handed strokes, rubbing their belly, or ruffling their fur backwards can feel awful, like someone aggressively messing up your hair over and over again. Even petting in the wrong spot can be overstimulating, making them go from purring to swiping in seconds. The key? Learn their favorite petting zones, usually under the chin, behind the ears, and along the cheeks. And if they ever expose their belly, that's a trap, not an invitation. But if you think petting them wrong is bad, wait until you hear about something that can make your cat instantly panic without you even realizing it. Number 19. Loud noises you don't think about. Why does your cat bolt out of the room the second you turn on the vacuum? Like it's the end of the world? It's not just about being startled. Felines have incredibly sensitive hearing, picking up sounds at frequencies far beyond what we can detect. What seems like a normal noise to you, a dropped spoon, a loud sneeze, or even the crinkle of a plastic bag, can hit their ears like an explosion. And if these sudden sounds happen too often, it can put them in a constant state of stress. Ever noticed how your cat disappears the moment you start a phone call or turn on the blender? They're not being dramatic, it's just overwhelming. Over time, too much noise can even make them anxious in their own home. But if you think that's stressful, wait until you hear about something else that might be bothering them without you even realizing it. Number 18. Not cleaning their litter box. Often enough, would you eat in a restaurant with a filthy bathroom? Probably not. Well, your cat feels the same about their litter box. Their sense of smell is 14 times stronger than yours, meaning what seems just a little messy to you is downright unbearable for them. A dirty litter box isn't just inconvenient, it's stressful. When a cat refuses to use their box, it's not about being stubborn. It's their way of saying, "This isn't fit for me." And here's something people don't realize. Cats associate cleanliness with safety. If their litter box is neglected, they might start feeling anxious, like their environment isn't secure. Some even go outside the box, not to annoy you, but because they're desperate for a cleaner spot. If you're just as surprised by the little things that secretly break your cat's heart, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell. There's so much more to uncover. In fact, here's one that might shock you. Something you do every single day could be making your cat feel upset, and you'd never even realize it. Number 17. Using strong scents around them. Why does your cat suddenly turn their fluffy butts away the moment you light that fancy scented candle? Well, it's not because they're being dramatic, it's because their nose is 14 times more powerful than yours. Imagine walking into a room filled with perfume so strong it feels like you're drowning in it. That's what heavy fragrances feel like to a cat. Essential oils, air fresheners, and even your favorite cologne can overload their senses, making them feel trapped and suffocated. Some scents aren't just overwhelming, they can even be toxic. Lavender, citrus, and peppermint? To you, they smell fresh. To your cat, they're pure chaos. So if your feline friend suddenly avoids a room, it might not be bad vibes, it might just be your air freshener. And if you think that's extreme, wait until you hear what happens when you come home smelling like another animal. Number 16. Bringing home the scent of another animal. Why does your cat give you that look when you walk through the door, like you've committed some unforgivable crime? It's not because of your late arrival or the groceries in your hand. It's your scent. Felines have an insanely powerful sense of smell, and if you've been around another animal, your cat knows. To them, it's not just a smell. It's a threat, a shift in loyalty, a betrayal they did not approve of. Imagine coming home to your partner smelling like a stranger's perfume or cologne. Suspicious, right? That's how your cat feels, except they don't just suspect, they know. Some cats sulk, some get aggressive, and some will even refuse to cuddle as their way of saying, "Explain yourself, human." And if you think that's dramatic, wait until you hear about another thing that messes with their confidence, especially when they think they're the ultimate hunter. Number 15. Not letting them win. During playtime, why does your cat chase their toy with laser focus only to slow down and seem disappointed? Play isn't just about exercise, it's about instinct. In the wild, every chase ends with a catch. But if your feline friend never wins, it can leave them feeling frustrated, even stressed. Imagine playing a game you can never beat. Annoying, right? When your cat pounces, they expect victory. That final capture, the satisfying crunch, it all matters. Without it, playtime starts to feel like an endless loop of failure. So next time, let them have that glorious takedown. Let them feel like the hunter they were born to be. And if you think this is the only way humans unknowingly frustrate their cats, just wait until you hear what might be their greatest fashion nightmare. Number 14. Dressing them up. Why does your cat freeze up like a statue the moment you put a sweater on them? It's not just because they're being dramatic, there's a real reason behind it. Unlike humans, cats rely heavily on their agility and flexibility to feel safe. Clothing, no matter how soft or stretchy, can make them feel trapped. It restricts their movement, dulls their senses, and even messes with their natural balance. Some cats will flop over like they've given up on life, while others frantically try to wriggle free. And if you're wondering why your feline friend gives you that look when you dress them up, it's because, to them, it's like putting a straitjacket on. But if you think this is frustrating for your cat, just wait until you hear about another thing that makes them feel completely abandoned, and you probably do it without even realizing. Number 13. Closing a door on them. Why does your cat rush toward a door the second you try to close it? It's not just curiosity, but a deep emotional response. Cats see doors as invisible barriers, cutting them off from you, their favorite person. Unlike humans who respect personal space, felines feel entitled to every room in the house. When a door suddenly shuts in their face, it triggers frustration, confusion, and even anxiety. It's like being locked out of a conversation without knowing why. That's why some cats scratch, meow, or push against doors. They're not just being nosy, they feel left behind. And if you think that's dramatic, wait until you hear about another unexpected thing that messes with your cat's emotions. Something as simple as looking at them the wrong way. Number 12. Staring at them too long. Why does your cat suddenly look away when you lock eyes with them? It's not shyness, it's survival instinct. In the feline world, long, direct eye contact is a challenge, a silent battle of dominance. Unlike humans, who might see eye contact as a sign of trust, cats interpret it as something much more intense. Even if your kitty adores you, an unbroken stare can make them uneasy, like they're being hunted. Ever notice how a relaxed cat will give you slow blinks instead? That's their way of saying, "I trust you." So next time your furry companion looks into your eyes, try a gentle blink instead of a stare down. You might just get one back. And if you think that's interesting, wait until you hear how something as simple as too much alone time could be breaking your cat's heart in ways you never even realized. Number 11. Leaving them alone too long. Why do some cats follow their humans around like little shadows, while others seem perfectly fine doing their own thing? Here's the truth. No matter how independent a cat seems, being left alone for too long can take an emotional toll. Felines may not show their feelings like dogs do, but that doesn't mean they don't feel them. Without enough interaction, mental stimulation, or even just the sound of their favorite human moving around, a cat can become stressed, anxious, or even depressed. And the longer they're left in silence, the more distant they might become. Not because they stopped caring, but because they had to adapt to loneliness. Some cats act out, others sleep more, and some even stop eating as much. But what really makes them feel secure in a home? Well, if you think emotional connection is important, just wait until you hear what height has to do with it. Number 10. Not giving them high spaces to climb. Why does your cat always try to climb the highest spot in the house, even if it means knocking things over in the process? It's not just curiosity, it's pure survival instinct. In the wild, felines stay above ground to watch for threats and hunt without being seen. Even though your furry companion lives indoors, that instinct never fades. If they don't have high spaces to perch on, they can feel exposed, vulnerable, and even anxious. Ever notice how they prefer the back of the couch over the floor? Or how they claim the top shelf of your closet like a throne? They're not just being picky, they're seeking security. Without a proper climbing spot, they might resort to scaling your furniture, fridge, or even your curtains. And if you think that's just stubbornness, wait until you hear what happens when you raise your voice at them. Number 9. Scolding them too harshly. Why does your cat freeze and bolt out of the room the moment you raise your voice, even if you weren't yelling at them? Unlike dogs, felines don't connect scolding with correction. They don't think, "Oh, I shouldn't do that again." Instead, they associate the loud noise with you. To them, your sudden outburst isn't discipline, it's danger. And once that trust is cracked, it doesn't repair easily. Your furry companion isn't trying to be defiant when they knock things off the counter or scratch the couch. They're just acting on instincts. Harsh punishment won't stop the behavior, it'll just make them avoid you. And if you think that's surprising, wait until you hear about another thing that might be hurting their feelings without you even realizing it. Because if you thought scolding them was bad, just imagine how heartbroken they feel when you completely ignore something they love. Number 8. Ignoring their favorite toys. Why do cats get attached to certain toys, like that one old feather wand that's barely holding together? It's not just about playtime. For your feline, that toy carries memories of successful hunts, shared moments with you, and even their own version of comfort. So when you suddenly stop using it, they don't just think you lost interest, they wonder if they did something wrong. Imagine if your best friend suddenly ignored your favorite inside joke. Kind of unsettling, right? That's how your cat feels. And when their favorite toy is tossed aside, it's not just gone, it's like a piece of their world disappeared. They may even start to act distant, confused, or seek comfort in other ways. But if you think skipping playtime messes with their emotions, wait until you hear what happens when you take them to the vet one too many times. Number 7. Too many vet visits in a row. Why does your cat suddenly vanish the moment you grab the carrier? It's not just because they hate the vet, it's because too many trips in a row can actually break their trust in you. Unlike humans who understand doctor visits as necessary, felines see them as stressful, unpredictable events. Each trip means unfamiliar smells, loud noises, and being handled by strangers. If it happens too often, they start associating you with that stress. Even if you think you're doing what's best, your furry companion might see it as betrayal. They may even hide from you before you grab the carrier, sensing what's coming. So while regular checkups are essential, balance is key. Otherwise, you might end up with a cat that avoids you altogether. And if you think that's frustrating, wait until you hear what happens when you take away one of their most natural instincts. Number 6. Not letting them hunt, even just for fun. Why does your cat suddenly pounce on your feet or attack your shoelaces like they're on a secret mission? It's not just random play, it's instinct. Cats are born hunters, wired to chase, stalk, and capture their prey. Even if your feline lives a cushy indoor life, that natural drive never goes away. When they don't get an outlet for it, boredom turns into frustration. And that's when you might notice them zooming around the house, knocking things over, or ambushing your ankles. Playing with wand toys, laser pointers, or even letting them catch something helps satisfy that urge. Without it, they can feel restless and even a little down. And speaking of frustration, nothing gets a cat more annoyed than when they feel trapped, especially by the one person they trust the most. If you think they love being held, well, you might want to hear this next one. Number 5. Holding them when they don't want it. Why do some cats melt into your arms while others squirm like you're holding them hostage? It's not just about personality. Cats have a deep instinct for control over their space. Unlike dogs who thrive on constant touch, felines prefer affection on their terms. When you scoop up your cat uninvited, their brain instantly goes into alert mode. They feel trapped, unable to escape, and that stress can linger even after you let them go. Some cats tolerate it, but deep down, it still puts them on edge. Over time, too much forced holding can make them avoid you altogether. Not exactly the love-filled bond you were hoping for. So, how do you actually win your cat's affection? Sometimes it's as simple as knowing where to scratch them, because if you're ignoring that one magical spot they love most, well, let's just say you might be missing out on the easiest way to their heart. Number 4. Neglecting their favorite spot to be scratched. Why does your cat nuzzle your hand like they're guiding you to a specific spot? It's not random. Felines have favorite scratch zones, and when you get it right, it's like hitting the jackpot of affection. The chin, behind the ears, or that sweet spot at the base of the tail. These aren't just places they enjoy, they're areas loaded with scent glands. When you scratch them there, you're not just giving pleasure, you're reinforcing their bond with you. But if you suddenly stop, confusion sets in. Your cat might wonder if they did something wrong, or worse, if something's changed between you two. And trust me, they notice when their favorite scratch routine disappears. And speaking of things cats definitely notice, there's something else that can shake their confidence in an instant, especially when it comes from you. If you think skipping scratches is bad, wait until you hear this. Number 3. Laughing at their mistakes. Have you ever seen your cat stumble, miss a jump, or completely wipe out, only to give you that look right after? You know the one. Ears slightly back, tail flicking, maybe even a quick grooming session as if to say, I totally meant to do that. But here's the thing, cats hate feeling embarrassed. Unlike humans, they don't laugh it off. Instead, they process it as a moment of weakness. And if you burst into laughter, that can actually make them feel even more insecure. Some felines will even avoid certain actions altogether if they think they'll be ridiculed again. So, next time your little acrobat has a not-so-graceful moment, try to hold back that giggle, or at least pretend you didn't see it, because nothing bruises a cat's ego faster than public humiliation. And if you think that's dramatic, wait until you hear what happens when you bring home a new pet too quickly. Number 2. Introducing a new pet. Too quickly? Why does your cat suddenly act distant or even aggressive when you bring home a new pet? It's not just jealousy, it's survival instincts kicking in. Unlike humans who can shake hands and start fresh, cats see a new animal as a possible intruder. Their home is their kingdom, and any sudden change feels like a takeover. If a new pet appears out of nowhere, your feline might not just feel uneasy, they might feel replaced. The scent, the sounds, the unspoken competition for your attention, it's overwhelming. Cats need gradual introductions, time to observe from a safe distance, and reassurance that they're still your number one. Skip this step and you might find your cat sulking in a hidden corner, avoiding you entirely. And if you think that's heartbreaking, wait until you hear the one mistake that makes them feel like they're just a pet. Number 1, acting like they're just a pet. Why does your cat sometimes stare at you like they're expecting something, but you have no idea what? It's because, to them, you're not just a human, you're part of their world, their family. Unlike dogs who see us as leaders, cats see us as equals, or sometimes even oversized, clumsy kittens. If you treat them like just a pet, feeding, cleaning, but not truly engaging, they notice, ignoring their slow blinks, missing their affectionate headbutts, or not responding to their chirps. That's like ghosting your best friend. Over time, they may become distant, acting less affectionate, or even sulking in their favorite hiding spot. Cats crave connection, but on their terms, and if you make them feel unimportant, well, let's just say they never forget. But be careful, because there are more everyday things that might be breaking your cat's heart without you even realizing it. These are just 25 of them. But if you want to learn more about your kitty cat, then see you in our next video. Bye-bye.